The Couch is proudly supported by Palace Cinemas, Elite Audiovisual Productions, Crown and Andrews Board Games, fun for the whole family, and Scoot Airlines. Escape the ordinary, fly Scoot.
Hello Australia, welcome to 6:58 of The Couch, local television, local people, every week, not just once a year. This is a guy that's here every week as well. Fletcher is the youngest of our crew. How old are you, Fletcher?
I am 16.
16 years old from Butler College. Wonderful, one of their television students there. We've got a big show today. Let me tell you who's on. Do you know who's on the show today?
I have no idea.
We've got Annabeth from Headspace. I knew you'd say that. Kevin's coming in to talk about the new Pride Fest Film Festival. We're also talking to Suzanne from the Revelations Perth International Film Festival. We'll find out what they've got coming up for us for November. Perth Happenings with Pieta, talking music with Demelza, talking travel with Steve Collins, and we give away another one of those beautiful Cooper Bears. Music-wise, we've got Georgie away performing for us and a young girl called Hannah Jade Kepler. It is a very special catch. Just before I go and start the show, over here is my good friend Rachel. It's all right, Rachel. We have to cover her top up. I'm not being a sleaze. Nice to have you back, Rachel.
Thanks.
Now, you're back in Perth?
Yep, for good.
And it's nice to have you here. What have you been up to? I know you do surf lifesaving and stuff. What else do you do?
I'm studying.
And you were a journalist for a while, weren't you?
I was, yes.
News editor.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to the
Yep.
cream of the crop now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
Thank-
being here today.
This is
And
the best
Abby and Aref are here too. Let's get the show started. 6:58 starts now. Thank you for being here.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, what a big day it is on the couch. It's always nice being local. We've got a big show for us, but let's get straight into it because I wasted too much time. Nisha's got Annabeth here for us talking Headspace. Over to you.
Wonderful, thank you, Fred. And welcome back to The Couch, Annabeth.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's lovely to be here.
It's always lovely to have you talking about really meaningful topics, and today we're talking about mental health. And particularly, it was Headspace Day, I believe, on the 9th of October.
Yes, it was. So for anyone who's not familiar, Headspace is the National Youth Mental Health Foundation. We see people aged 12 to 25 to support them with their well-being across mental health, emotional, physical and sexual health, drug and alcohol concerns, and work and study support. And there's over 110 Headspace centres around the country.
Wonderful. And so that's a really widespread and really important to provide that sustainable care. And on that topic, sustainable mental health is about being proactive, seeing mental health on a continuum. And I believe that was one of the drivers for a new project that's launched on the website.
Absolutely. So as you said, it was Headspace Day recently. We celebrate Headspace Day once a year. All the different Headspace centres focus on the theme, and it's different each year. And this year is about building your mental health toolkit. So looking at what are the simple tips and changes that you can make to improve or maintain your well-being. Often I think when we talk about mental health, people immediately think of mental ill health, and we think that we only need to really reflect and look at our mental health when we are struggling. So what this campaign is about is encouraging everyone to take the time to actually think about how am I going across 7 particular key areas of my life. Are there things that I can improve on? Are there small changes I can make? And how can I make sure that those are actually part of the structure of my life and sustainable and I'm able to continue them?
I like you saying small changes as well, because I think what's imminent is sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when really it's step by step. So, you know, if you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl, but you're moving forward, and that's the key thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with all aspects of our health, we often do that. We say that we're going to get started looking at, you know, my physical health, so I'm going to run every day and I'm only going to eat this and I'm not going to have any more sugar and I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep a night. And we can't maintain that because we're not used to that, all those different changes. And then we give up and we feel shame and we feel guilt. So what it is about is saying, what are a few small things I could make part of my everyday.
Yes, and to celebrate as well when you do things well. So we have a strategy we use in Psych around something you start, something you stop, and something you maintain. So when we talk about these areas that you've got on the website here, we've got number 1, get into life.
So getting into life is about looking at what you can do that makes you feel good, that you enjoy doing. And that sounds so simple. And really all these tips are simple, but there's lots of things where maybe we know we should do that or we think that we could, but maybe we don't actually make the time for it.
And you feel much better. I know that sometimes when I think, I'd rather stay home maybe and watch a program, but you go out and you engage and have a coffee with a friend, you feel better for it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's about saying, are there things that you have been putting off? I'm sure lots of us do those things where we go, I've always wanted to take this class or join a team or do this, but I don't have the time or I'm a bit unsure about how I'd go about it. So the really great thing about the toolkits online is that for each of these different sections, then it asks you some questions around, how are you going with this? What are the changes you can make? And then it helps you break it down into what could you actually do? What's something that might get in the way? How could you overcome that? So you can actually, instead of looking at it and going, I don't even know where to start, this is too big and too scary,
Excellent.
You can go, okay, well, I could do this one little thing and see how that feels and go from there.
That's fantastic. And I'm going to read through these quickly so that we can make sure that we provide a few more tips if need be. There's create connections, stay active, cut back on alcohol and other drugs, learn skills for tough times, eat well and get enough sleep. So they're areas that we can focus on quite easily. However, one at a time perhaps, or however many at a time if you like.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, for some of us we might be having problems across a number of these areas or all of them. And if you look at it in terms of all of those things, it feels very overwhelming.
It does, yeah, absolutely.
So it's much easier if you go, all right, well, maybe I want to work on connecting with people and feeling supported and being more involved in my community and eating better and getting into exercise. But to start with, I'm just going to make a few changes to my sleep routine and make sure that I don't play with my phone in bed before I go to bed.
Easy, yeah.
And just try and do that. Try that one thing. And the really cool thing about the way it is set up with the toolkits is that you can create an account so that when you answer these questions and create your own personalised action plan, you can save that and go back to it.
Beautiful.
And it gives you a chance to actually reflect on how has this worked? Has it made a difference? Has it made me feel good? Because when we see those changes, when we actually notice them, that's where we get that motivation to keep going and to build on that.
Absolutely. You have your baseline and then you can have that big tick or reward when you've done it.
Yes, absolutely. And that's so
Exciting.
important, and celebrating those things.
Brilliant. Well, look, it's a great initiative. Proactive resilience. That's the word I was thinking of.
I love that way of putting it. That's exactly what we want.
And the other word, proactive vitality management. That's a new one coming out.
PVM, very important.
That's it. Beautiful. We're onto it. So we can talk all day, and we will have you back on because this is such a great topic. Thank you for all the great work and all the information you bring us from Headspace.
Oh, always a pleasure.
If anyone wants more information, where do they go?
They go to the website, headspace.org.au. We've got a section about the simple tips, but there's heaps of information and resources. So if you're not sure where to start, that's a great place to go.
Wonderful. We look forward to having you back on the couch soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, if you've missed anything, of course, thecouch.com.au, our Facebook page, but it's back to you now, Fred.
Thank you very much, Nisha and Annabeth. I wanted to ask Annabeth just quickly. So the one about eating more, is that what you were saying?
I said eating well.
Oh, forget about it. Let's move on. Eating well, eating more, and sleeping. That's a big one. A lot of people don't realise you've got to get a good night's sleep because I never do.
So important. And particularly for teenagers, they're supposed to get up to 10 hours of sleep a night.
I've told all our crew they're always partying. That's why we have boxes of Red Bull available, but that's a different story. But thank you very much for being here. We will have you back in the new year,
Yes, please.
hopefully once a month.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annabeth. Thank you to Nisha. We'll see Nisha later on with another guest. Music now. Lovely young girl. Her name is Hannah Jade Kepler. They disappeared off our screens for 4 or 5 years, but they are back. They're older. She's here now today singing She's a Killer, centre stage.
She keeps her Moet Chandon in her pretty cabinet. Lets them eat cake, she says, just like Marie Antoinette. A built-in remedy for Khrushchev and Kennedy. At any time, an invitation you can decline. Caviar and cigarettes, well-versed in etiquette, extraordinarily nice. She's a killer queen, gunpowder gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Recommended at the price in insatiable and appetite. Wanna try? Avoid complications. She never kept the same address. In conversation, she spoke just like a baroness. Met a man from China, went down to Asia Minor. Then again, incidentally, it was that way inclined. Perfume came naturally from Paris, because she couldn't care less. Fastidious and precise, she's a killer queen. Gunpowder, gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Drop of a hat, she's as willing as playful as a pussycat. Then momentarily out of action, temporarily out of gas, to absolutely drive you wild. She's a killer queen, gunpowder, gelatine, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind. Recommended at the price, insatiable and appetite.
Fantastic. Thank you to Hannah Jade. Have a great Christmas, because we won't see you until next year when you're back on the show. But we are going to talk music now with that lady that knows everything about music.
Hi.
It is Demelza Lena.
No pressure or anything.
Well done. I'm just getting my little notes here, so you can
Yes.
introduce your first music store
Yes,
if you
so
like.
Lizzo. So she
I beg your
is
pardon?
Lizzo.
Oh, I thought you were calling me something.
Flautist by day and awesome singer songwriter by night. Now she is just doing amazing things all over the world at the moment.
Is that Lizzo there?
This is Lizzo right here.
Wow.
This is her track Truth Hurts. Now she has actually gone and asked for a judicial declaration from the courts, because there are three songwriters who are accusing her of copywriting. They are saying that they worked with Lizzo on a song called Healthy, and that the chords, the melody and the lyrics
Same.
are the same for Truth Hurts. She
This
has
is happening a
released.
lot now.
Well, she's released a statement and actually said that no, this is actually incorrect. They didn't have anything to do with this song. This is
Okay.
a huge track. She has been in trouble about this song anyway. The iconic first line of the track was a Twitter account that has come out called Legendina, and she has actually said that no, I created this line and it's now being used in a song. Lizzo did apologise and she's now received full credit. And do you remember CeCe Peniston? Finally, the track from the 90s?
Oh, yeah, finally, it's happened to me. So you get me going.
Huge
That's
track
like
from
singing.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Now, she is actually saying that one of Lizzo's other songs, Juice, samples a little bit of Finally and is actually trying to gain some support behind it at the moment. So stay tuned on
But
that
isn't
one.
it
That's
funny?
going to be
'Cause
very interesting.
how many times have we heard lately in the new music? They all sound the same. And you'll hear, do you remember the Idrimagini theme?
Yeah,
And that was a
well, you
thing.
had Dimples D, Sucker DJ.
So where are we going? I suppose they get paid a royalty or a fee for
I
using
think that's
it.
what it is if their song is being sampled, then they should have that credit, which means they get some sort of royalty when it comes. And Truth Hurts is #1 in the States at the moment, so it's a huge track.
A lot of
and
money.
expect Lizzo to do big things for the Grammy Awards as well. So.
Okay. Well, you know, I was really disappointed because I actually liked this group, Little Mix.
Yes.
What's happening?
So they have cancelled their Australian tour. However, they this is on the back of a postponement late. So they were originally meant to come to in June. They're not. They have said that they are working now through their social media. Everyone's releasing their news on social media. They are actually saying that no, we want to go back in the studio, create some new music. So both Australia and New Zealand is cancelled.
Is Little Mix the group that sang? Did one of them pass away?
No, that was GRL.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking of as well. So they're not likely to come back?
Well, this isn't the first time that they've had issues with their Down Under tours, so it's
Is it they're
very
not
unlikely.
selling enough tickets, do you think?
Quite
It's the cost?
possibly. Actually, very interestingly, and I'll say it very quickly, T-Pain came out and said that he just cancelled his concerts in the US because they didn't sell tickets, and he said a lot of artists do that. So.
And what happens when
We'll
the
see.
scammers get scammed, eh? Shaggy.
Shaggy comes out and says it wasn't him.
Really?
So Shaggy is saying that if you are receiving a message online from him asking for money, well, it wasn't him.
It was a friend of his.
It's some sort of hoax that's going on. But the good news is that the tour where he is coming to Australia with Sean Paul, dancehall legend Sean Paul, is legitimate, and he will be coming to our shores in Australia, touring the country.
Now, just before we go to the top threes, I've got some news. Kiss is still, there's tickets available.
Yes.
RAC Arena, they're coming to 16th of November here to Perth.
They are.
So if you want your tickets, I'm not really into
All that tongue
or
stuff.
Kiss. Sorry. Oh, Demelza, that's lovely. But I have got some news because I am sick and tired of waiting for her to give me news on ABBA. Let me just tell you, I should be Molly Meldrum here if I had a little bit more hats and hair.
What's the latest on ABBA, Fred?
Bjorn, obviously,
Yeah.
Bjorn from ABBA, he says the new music will actually be released next year for sure, 100%. The two songs that they recorded in the studio last year is going to be released
that we thought
next
would be
year.
Christmas. Yeah.
They're actually working at the moment on Mamma Mia parties. Do you know what they are? They're basically, you go to the venue
Yeah.
and it's all
And you
like the
sing
Mamma...
the
Yeah, you
songs.
sit and you sing the songs and you eat the food. So they're making money out of that. But he says as well, in the interview that I saw, he actually said that they've been in the studio again. They're looking at releasing an album. And they're making a reunion. They are going to reunite, but they're not going to sing live. That's, he clarified he would not be singing live, but they are having a reunion and they will be releasing an album.
Yeah.
And the interviewer said, so why don't you tell us more? And he said, because the other three of ABBA don't want him to talk about it yet. So there you go, some news. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, so he leaked out enough to know that they're going to... Yes, well, obviously they're all arguing over the amount of money they're going to get. So ABBA... They're going to have a reunion, but they're saying they're not going to sing at this point. They have been in the studio again, and they're going to look at releasing a new ABBA album. Now, could you imagine how great that will be? We'll all buy the albums and we never have to see them.
Well, look how successful the Gold album was in the 90s
Exactly.
when that got released.
They're selling about 350 million albums a year.
Yeah.
So they are loaded, and they're
Yeah.
probably one of the most fantastic bands when it comes to managing their wealth and managing their businesses. They've had Mamma Mia.
Well, one of them's a princess now
Well,
too.
that's
So
it.
there you go.
So there you go. Thank you for the music, I say. And the top threes, as they
I
are
see
this
what you
week.
did there. Let's have a look at the top three. At number 3, new entry, Memories by Maroon 5.
Not bad, that one. Maroon 5 looks a bit different.
Number 2, Circles, Post Malone. It's holding,
Is that a new one?
staying put. It's been number 2 for a while.
this one's
and
still number 1.
Dance Monkey, Tones and I honestly think this might be the number 1 song for the year.
I think so. It hasn't gone off the number 1
Well,
chart.
it's her and Old Town Road, and I think she's just ticked
Yep.
the boxes. Well, I
well
paid
done.
her for a lot of ARIA awards this year too.
Thank you, Demelza.
Thank you.
DL Social, there's a website that we've got on screen for you.
Yes.
They didn't put it up. Again, dlsocial.com.au is the DL Social. I've got DemelzaLeonard.com
as well.
We will get it up next time you come in because we've been
alright.
trying for 2 weeks. I don't know why they forgot. But you're back in a couple of weeks on our last
I am,
show.
yes.
This is Demelza Leonard talking music. We'll be back with more of The Couch right after this. Welcome back to The Couch. It's always nice to have Suzanne Warner in, and we're going to talk about the Revelation International Film Festival here in Perth and the November screening that's coming up with Nisha. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fred. Welcome back onto the couch, Suzanne, or rather that nice chair.
It's a lovely chair. Thank you very much.
Always exciting to have you because you have new films that you feature each month.
We do. So we're really looking forward to this next one coming up on November 25th. We're going to do Mary and Max. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Mary and Max, but it's an animated feature film. And there aren't a lot of those that come out that are the sort of film that we want to show. And this is done by Adam Elliott, written and directed by Adam Elliott. He won an Oscar before this for his film Harley Crumpet, which was a short film. And this is a beautiful animated film of Mary and Max, who are pen pals. She's 8, he's 44, and they connect via letters and they become best friends.
And really, when you hear these stories, they're like humanities stories, they really pull at the heart.
Absolutely. That's what I read about this, was that it's such a poignant but really simple, beautiful story of friendship.
And connection too. We were just talking to Annabeth on the couch from Headspace, and really important these days that we don't forget to connect. So it sounds like this film assists us to see that.
Yeah, well, both Mary and Max were people who didn't have any friends. And they found the most unlikely friend for each other and in each other. So I think it's a really beautiful story, and we're really proud to have it. It's the 10th anniversary of this film, and Adam Elliott is going to join us post-screening, and he'll do a Q&A, which is always fantastic.
Wonderful. So what does the evening look like? How could we plan an evening?
Okay, we come along, and I'm a bit frazzled, and I'm ticking off names, and you come along, and I point you to the bar, and we have wine and cheese and drinks and things like that.
Lovely.
And you sort of make yourself happy there, and then we usher you into the cinema, which is a beautiful cinema at the Backlot Perth, a 50-seater, beautiful cinema. And we do an intro. We talk about what's happening in films, and we then show a short film, a locally made, WA-made short film, which we're really proud to do. And then we launch into our feature, and where we can, and we can with this case with Adam, we're going to do a Q&A with him afterwards.
Wow, so it's a real enriching cultural experience.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to go with the family, with your partner.
Absolutely.
On a first date or...
Oh, absolutely.
Lots of occasions.
Look, it's a cheap first date, I've got to say, because we throw in the cheese. So, it's a really
I thought you called me a cheap date.
You'd be a perfect date.
Expensive date.
Yeah,
but I'd still come, thank you.
Yes, but I still recommend it for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, it's a great fun evening, and people get such a kick out of just talking about what we're doing, and then to be able to ask the filmmaker questions. How did you do that? Where did you come up with that idea? That kind of stuff that's just priceless.
So I can envisage you get a lot of young entrepreneurs or in the film industry who are actually coming to learn about the process itself.
We get a real mix of people. We get filmmakers and people who want to be involved with the industry. We also get a lot of people who are just interested in films, and we have this collective group who are there every week. They come every month, all the time, because they just love what we do. They don't care what film we're screening. They just love our connection that we've created.
Well, there you go. You're creating your own sense of belonging as well, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's coming up? Because it's November, so we're very close to Christmas.
I know. So because it's the last Monday of every month, we do take a little bit of a break over Christmas, New Year, because we tend to clash with a few other things.
And you deserve a couple of days off as well, Susan.
I'd vote for that. So yeah, we'll have a couple of months off, and then we'll hit the ground running again in the new year with a whole new monthly screening program, and of course our big festival in July.
Fantastic. So a really good opportunity for people in that period maybe to check out your website and maybe plan ahead.
Of course, because we do our Rev on Demand, where you can, it's like Netflix for Revelation. So you can log into our website and you can download hundreds of films there.
Fantastic. And that website for everyone at home?
It's revelationfilmfest.org.
Wonderful. It's always a pleasure having you on the couch.
Thank you.
And I really look forward to seeing you in the new year.
Thank you very much.
And catching the film. That looks amazing.
I don't miss it.
I won't. I'll definitely be there. Thanks a lot. Now, if you missed any of that, thecouch.com.au, our Facebook page. But for now, it's over to you, Fred.
How could anyone confuse you with cheese, Nisha? I don't know how they do that. But please support them. We'll have Suzanne Warner back next year. And if you are a young filmmaker or into the craft of filmmaking, please go to their website, because they will help you. They've got links there, and they're wonderful people. They really do support the local film industry and young people wanting to get into film. So it's a wonderful opportunity. Get a hold of Suzanne Warner. Ring her personally. I'll give you her personal home number. No. They're wonderful. I'm pretty sure she'd talk to you anyway, so it would be fantastic. All right, now the other thing I want to tell you was we've only got one bear left, folks. All our bears are gone. I'm going to give you the details of the winner in the next segment, and then we've got one more bear, and we'll give that away on next week's show, thanks to Cooper Bears. Now we're going to continue the theme even better, talking films. Pride Fest Film Festival's coming up. Kevin from Palace is back. Welcome back. I have got 3 pages full of movies and lots of time to talk to you about these. So tell us about Pride Fest. What's it all about?
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about this one. So Palace has partnered with Pride WA to bring a film festival back for the first time, I believe, in a number of years now.
Wonderful achievement.
Yeah, we're pretty happy. We've partnered with them. We're also going to be donating part proceeds to Pride WA and really bring it back to the community itself.
Fantastic. And you know what? You are supporting a great organisation, and also the dates that it's running. Tell us, because it's really important for people to get in and get the tickets.
Yes. So it runs over the WA Pride month of November. So it's every Thursday from the 7th of November right through to the 28th.
All right. Now, it's going to be at Cinema Paradiso, I believe. So this is a special set of movies, but they're not going to be at Palace Cinema in the city, but they will be at your sister cinema in Northbridge, which is wonderful. Have a meal first. Wonderful cinema. It's been renovated. Great seating. Great air conditioning. So let's go through them, because I've got the details here and you can tell me about the movies. Thursday the 7th of November, Studio 54. That's the opening night gala. 6:30pm arrival, 7pm the film starts. What's it all about?
So Studio 54 it basically chronicles the rise and the lifetime of probably one of the world's most famous nightclubs in New York, set in the 1970s.
I saw this clip. It's actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And so part of that opening night includes a glass of wine on arrival. We've got special guests in the 89ers, so the original group that protested and marched on Parliament House here in Perth. This month actually marks 30 years, so we've invited them. We've got a couple of other special guests to announce. And then afterwards, the film ticket also gives you free entry to Connections nightclub to keep the party going.
Wow, you've really done a really good package. Fantastic. So that one there is our first. That's the gala night, 7th of November. The other one, 14th of November, it's called Vita and Virginia. WA premiere screening, so we're the first to see it.
Yeah.
6:30pm arrival, 7pm the film. What's this one about?
So it's basically about Virginia Woolf and basically her life in her very eccentric sort of art world, in that a very adventurous and eclectic sort of style that she has, and it's another great film. And like you said, it is the first standalone screening of this. It's actually released in December, so
So we're getting it early.
Yeah, exactly, just for this festival.
That's Palace Cinema for you. If you want it first and best, go to Palace. Now, the next film is on Thursday the 21st of November, and this is called Holston, Celebration of Fashion, at 6:30pm again and 7pm start. Fashion, what a wonderful topic again, especially with Palace.
Exactly. So we first brought this film as part of the Rain Square Fashion Film Festival, and now we've brought it back because it's a perfect fit for Pride Fest and for this particular film festival.
Perth loves fashion, but don't they?
It does. So
and I know you did. You wanted to continue the fashion theme for another couple of months.
Yeah, it's sold out at all of our screenings on our last festival. So this one also includes a pop-up art gallery, Holston inspired, in the foyer before the film as well.
Fantastic. We've got another great movie coming up on the Thursday, the 28th of September. This one I went and saw, and I would love to see it again. Rocket Man, of course, the Elton John movie. Closing night, that will be a sing-along celebration. Does that mean I'm allowed to sing for a change?
Yes, exactly. So we'll have subtitles on the screen there. It's also the same weekend Elton John will be in Perth. So we thought we'd just keep that theme going, get everyone in the mood.
How good if you could get him to the movie? Are you trying to work on that?
We're working on it, but yeah, we'll see.
I reckon if you get me singing his songs, he'll definitely either come and sue me or appear on his own and sing. How good would it be if you can get the actor? I mean, I know it's hard to get the guy that actually played him in the movie, but this is an amazing movie, folks. Even if you don't like Elton John, because I've had a lot of people go, Elton John, I tell you what, it is just an amazing guy, an entertainer's life, and it's not what you think. When I watched it, I thought, he must have been rich, he must have had an amazing life, and it's not exactly what you think. He went through a lot of hard times, and families that weren't the greatest, and he succeeded in the end, and he's doing really well. So this is the Pride Fest. Who selects the movies? Do you guys pick them, or does someone give you the movies?
So for this one, we had quite a lot of consultation discussion with the Pride WA committee. We basically came up with something that appeals to everyone, so a few documentaries, a few feel-good films, and yeah, just made it a bit of fun.
I think you've picked some amazing films, and there's something there for everybody. Now tell us again, 6:30 is arrival, and 7 p.m. the film starts.
Yep.
On some of them, there's a bit of pre-show.
Yep, correct. So the opening and closing night mainly, yes.
Okay. And I'll tell you the prices for those people saying, how much does it cost? Well, it's $19.50 for full price. Students and concessions are $15, so very reasonable. Seniors, $14. And the Palace Movie Club, which is an amazing membership. If you haven't got it, go on the website, join up. It's only $14.50 for movies. Now, there are many places you can go and have a look for tickets, but the best one is the one on screen right now, palacecinemas.com.au. Ticket prices are there, all the details are there. Click on Pride Fest and it will give you the links to the trailers so you can watch the movies as well.
Yep, and best of all tickets include a glass of wine on arrival for the whole festival
Wow,
too.
what if I buy 6 tickets? Will I get 6
glasses? Yeah.
I think Nisha and I will be attending as I know Nisha likes a little bit of cheese if you've got it. Fantastic. Now, Kevin, tell us about the great parking deal, because over the weekend I was talking to some friends, and this is a true story. They said to me, "Oh, but it's, you can't get parking." I said, "Yes." Well, where do we park?
Yeah, so at Cinema Paradiso, after 6 p.m, all of the street bays are free. And we also have a paid parking, very cheap paid parking, about 200 metres away at City of Perth Rowe Street car park.
So you park your car, folks, take your ticket, take it up to the cinema, and you'll get a discount as well for that as well, or no?
Yeah, so if you park over at Rain Square, you do get after 4:30 p.m.
What is it, $5?
Yeah, $5 for up to 4 hours of parking.
And I'm talking about Palace Cinemas in the city, the new Rain Square. Cinema Paradiso, you can park all the way around it. There's heaps of public parking as well, and great restaurants as well. Sorrento's is a nice place down there. Kevin, thank you very much for coming in today. It's a pleasure. I'm not too sure if you're available for the 10th. We'll try and fit in another Palace Cinema, maybe some previews that are coming up over Christmas and the New Year.
Yeah, sounds good.
This is, of course, Kevin, Business Development Manager for Palace Cinemas here in WA. You do a great job. Pride Fest is coming. Please get involved. Get your tickets early. That way you don't miss out. Now I've got some tickets to give away because you might want to go to Pride Fest. I've got some fantastic tickets. 2 of the standard, 2 of the platinum tickets. Look at this amazing cinema. Palace Cinema. This is actually from Nisha's phone. She took it for me. I said, just take some footage for me, Nisha. But it's actually amazing. I noticed we had some wine glasses there as well. No, look, luxurious leather seats that are just amazing. If you would like to win a set of tickets for yourself, all you have to do is send me an SMS, 0439 929 929. That's our SMS number every week. Put your name and address on the SMS, and the word Palace is the code word. And you could be the lucky person to get 2 of the platinum tickets, which is like Gold Lounge, just better. And of course 2 of the standard tickets, which is even better than the Gold Lounge at other cinemas. So don't settle for anything less. Palace Cinemas, they are the best. Thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Palace Cinemas for sponsoring that segment. And we will take a break. We'll be back more of The Couch after this. Welcome back to The Couch. One of our new presenters is back today, Pieta Sharp.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. Can I just say, you were great last time you were on.
Oh, thank you.
I have been watching your Instagram.
Oh, yes.
Tell us quickly, where have you been? You've been everywhere in WA. What was that all about?
I had a 4-day trip around. I went from Perth to Northam to Merredin to Tanning down to Albany, all for the public silo trail. It's artworks by Form WA. I think we crammed in about 3 months worth
Only
of travel.
4 days.
4
It looked like
days.
2 weeks.
It was like, no. It was, look at this.
Yep.
20 minutes, photos, go. Driving.
And the food, I saw your pictures of the
Oh.
food. At least they fed you, and well by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So
A little bit too
is
well.
that just a bit of a familiarisation with WA. Is that what it was for? You had people from over east?
I was actually the only, there was 7 of us. I was the only one who wasn't a journalist. So it was a great learning experience for me as well.
And
coming
you were probably
from
the only one that was funny.
social. Oh, no, they were all pretty funny.
Good people?
They were all pretty funny.
Well, I'm
Lovely
glad
people.
you got back and you got to see some beautiful places in WA.
Oh, amazing.
And that is why you are so good at Perth events. Now, you run Perth Happenings.
I do.
And there's a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about 7 events today.
Yes.
We did have 8, but we've dropped the Film Fest, the Pride Film
yes.
Fest, but we'll, because we had Kevin on before.
Yep.
You. But let's go to the first one. I notice you're wearing the Fascinator there.
I am indeed.
Would this be about Mums and Bubs lunch at Melbourne Cup?
It certainly would. So we did a feature on the Melbourne Cup and the best places to go in Perth. And I thought I won't cover it too much in here, but Mums and Bubs lunch at Scarborough is at Rendezvous. You can take your child with you and everyone else is going to have their kids there. So rather than the mums missing out, which I did when my children were young, you can actually
because
go
they
have
make
fun.
noise or they don't want to sit. So you can actually take your kids.
Yep.
They're welcome.
They are welcome.
And they'll probably have a good day and you'll have a good day.
And they've got
'cause you
a
know where
kids
they are.
zone as well. It's going to be really, really good.
And where is that going to be?
That's at the Rendezvous in Scarborough.
That's a beautiful hotel.
Yep.
And let's just say, do we know the ticket prices?
It's $49 for adults.
Cheap.
And $25 for the kids.
That is actually very cheap.
It is.
Right, we'll give you details, folks, at the end of the segment on where you can look this all up as well. Number 2, Perth International Jazz Festival. Now, I love jazz. I don't know about
jazz
you.
too.
Ellington Club, for me, is amazing.
Yep.
Cheese, wine, fantastic.
Yep.
What's happening with this one?
Well, it's from the 8th to the 10th of November. It starts at 5 on the Friday. I can't wait because it's an international jazz festival. It's the whole weekend. There's free and ticketed events. So, you know, there's workshops.
So you don't have to pay for everything.
No,
if
you
you
don't.
haven't got the money, go
No.
and just watch some of the free stuff.
And that's what I try and when I pick these events, I try and get things that, you know, even if you can't afford to
It
experience
suits
a lot of
everybody.
Perth, you can go to a little bit bits and
And
pieces.
you are a mum, so
I am a mum.
you know exactly what it's like on the budget. So
Oh, yes.
I love the fact that you've picked events that are affordable.
Yeah. Well, I have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old, so it's a expensive
Yes, it is.
job. But yeah, so there's swing bands, there's all different things. There's workshops, you can do things for free. And if you want to go and, you know, learn more and experience it, the tickets range. Like there's...
I've got it here, $10 to $45, $10 to $45.
Yep.
And if 3 or more shows at the State Theatre Centre venues,
discount.
10% discount.
Yep.
And what I love, it's going to be at the State Theatre Centres. It's a beautiful theatre.
It is wonderful.
So there's no reason for people not to go. And like you said, it starts from $10 to $45. So
Yep.
go
And
for
free.
the cheap one.
And free.
Fantastic. Now, the third thing we've got is Air Mauritius Bonjour Perth
Bonjour.
Festival 2019.
Indeed.
And
I went to the launch of that last week. It's all a blur after you've travelled. It was fantastic. Like we actually got to meet some of the acts that are going to be there, and there was a French comedian. Now this is in Subiaco, opposite the old Domain, well, still the Domain Stadium. But yeah, that taken over that whole grass section. To get in, if you book beforehand, it's cheaper, so it's $5, and for kids it's 1.5. I think how they explained it. But it's slightly more on the door.
Well, you've got 100 stalls, folks.
Yep.
And 30 plus entertainment acts, plus activities for the whole family.
Yep.
Cooking demos, as you said, art, craft, sports, dance workshops, magic shows, and more.
The Magic Man was amazing. We saw him at the launch.
Fantastic. Do we know roughly what these are going to cost? These tickets?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's $5 on the.
Oh, is that it?
$5 to get in, or if you order before, or $7 on the day, or $1.50 for kids, and then $3 on the day.
And this goes from 10 a.m. up to 9 p.m. at night.
Yep.
And it's November the 9th as well. Fantastic.
Yep.
Love it.
Awesome.
Next one, we've got. I've got the last page actually because we've got so many things here. We're talking about the Perth Makers Market.
Yes. I have been watching Perth Makers Market for a good few years, and it just keeps going from strength to strength.
Yep.
They've just started at Yagan Square, and this one is going to be focused on Christmas. But the beautiful thing about the Makers Market is you're not actually allowed to have a stall there unless you're a maker.
Oh, isn't that good?
Yeah, unless you're a local maker.
So they're keeping it to people who are makers, not just trying to sell stuff.
Yep, and it's fantastic. So handmade, and it's beautiful. You can find some... I've picked up things there that I would never even thought of buying for people as presents.
So what are they all about? Is this, when we talk about makers, obviously
Yeah.
you're after makers. What type of stuff are we bound to see there?
Oh.
Is it food? Is it
There's
jams?
definitely food, but like I've picked up soap, like handmade toys for the kids, so wooden but also stuffed toys. There's clothes, there's handmade clothing. There's stall holders that are fundraising as well. You can just find, and they always have a raffle. So you go to their information section, and it's around $200 worth.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you're a local maker, is it still? Do you reckon there'll still be time for people to register and get involved?
Not for now.
Bad luck, you missed out.
Yeah,
you
but
waited far too long.
have a chat with Erin, who is she runs it, and
Fancy you leaving it for that long.
she's exceptionally well organised.
Now that runs from 4 a.m. Believe it or not, that's when Pieter's going to be there. 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. with her kids as well.
That's right.
November the 15th, Yagan Square, beautiful place.
Yep.
Now the next event, the Perth
Number
Roller
5,
Derby.
yes.
Now this is amazing. Going November 23rd,
Yep.
7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Only 2 hours because you'll be stuffed after 2 hours, I reckon.
Yep.
Roller Derby. Am I right in thinking you're going to have roller skates? Is that what it is?
Yes, so I've seen this a few times.
Oh, there it
It's
is,
at
that's good.
Herb Graham Rec Centre. They do it throughout the year. And the team names are just amazing. There's like apocalypse sticks and things like that. It's you're going now. These aren't.
Have you done this?
No, I've actually been asked if I want to join, but I'm a little bit terrified to be honest.
I'll give you an alibi. Just pull out and say, I'm doing my hair that night.
Oh, I've got an injury. I actually do.
You'll have a worse injury if you do it. Trust me.
But okay, so these aren't the official rules. This is my interpretation of the rules. You've got two teams.
Yeah.
There's one person who's trying to get around the circle of like it's like an oval, and half of the team is trying to stop that person.
Oh, half.
Again,
Yeah, I
it
get
might
what
not
you
be. But you know what? Their athleticism is incredible.
I wonder if I could drive instead of using the roller skates. Probably be safer as well. Now, these tickets are between $8 and $20 as well.
Yeah.
2 more events. MSWA Ocean Ride. What's that one about? Thanks to Retrovision.
I am so excited about this one. I was hoping to get into and do this, but unfortunately that's my birthday. So
Oh, what a lucky chance to miss out.
Yeah.
I see you like exercise as much as I do.
Oh no, I do love exercise.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
just that,
believe you.
my birthday is.
How's that working for you?
So you start at Fremantle to
Yes.
Hillary's.
Okay.
But there's all different levels. So you can do 10Ks, you can do, the whole distance if you like.
Mm-hmm.
Tickets for that were cheaper, and as we've got closer, it's got more expensive, but it's $20 at the moment.
all
Now
right.
that includes, I'm going to check my notes for this so I don't say it wrong, it includes 2 adults and 3 children.
Wow, that's
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep.
Now, this is November the 24th, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. We've got to move because we've got one more to talk
Oh,
about.
sorry.
Mindari Festival.
Yep, Mindari Festival, that's been going for 23 years.
And this is the 23rd annual event.
Yep.
Mindari Festival will be held on Sunday, the 24th of November, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Yep.
It's a celebration of local community
Yep.
with a range of stalls, entertainment activities to keep the whole family entertained.
Also free.
Free events to join us for. Celebrations are Stunning Home,
Mm-hmm.
Mindari, of course, at the home in Mindari, proudly supported by the City of Wanneroo. Now, I'm looking at this list. It says 20 plus artisan market stores,
Yep.
street food stalls,
Yep.
roving performers, kids carnival,
Yep.
free kids activities, live bands. What more would you want?
It's amazing. They had their beer festival last weekend, and they put on an awesome show.
What's the website? Because I know there's people out there saying those two are having too much fun.
My website is www.perthhappenings.com.au.
Peter, I love having you here. I look forward to having you maybe on our last show on the 10th of November.
Look forward to it.
So look forward to it. Thank you again. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you're back safe.
Yep, thank you.
And you've done a wonderful job today. That's Peter Sharp from Perth Happenings, and she's doing an amazing job. Please go to their website. You'll find the best range of events. Now, we're going to give you the details of the winner of the last bear from last week. Now, we're not giving away a bear this week because we've only got one left. I'm doing it next week. But the winner this week was Karen Vanzetti. Now, her details are on screen. She's from Marangaroo in WA. Thank you very much, Karen. I believe, Karen, you've got it in the mail already, and you should be really happy with it. And I got an SMS only a couple of days ago to say thank you very much. So thank you, and thanks to Cooper Bears, of course. Don't forget they've got a hospital as well that fixes bears if you've got a broken one as well. Thank you to Pieter. Thanks to you at home for watching the segment. We'll be back with more of The Couch right after this Talking Travel.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
we always save the best for last. But I was going to say, where is the best? Oh, it's Steve!
Oh, I thought the last was the singer. There you go.
No, you are the best, and we've
the
left you
best,
the last.
yes.
Talking travel, Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C., capital of the United States of America, folks.
Now, are we likely to want to travel to the United States after this?
After what? You mean after
seeing
Trump?
your story?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Trump was in residence when I was there. Look, it's a fascinating city. It's only, in American terms, it's only a very small city.
Really?
Yes.
Now, is it like Canberra? We sort of when you compare it.
Yes, it is similar to Canberra in as much as there are a lot of important monuments and stuff there. It's bigger than Canberra, and there's a hell of a lot more there to see. But it is a fascinating place. And look, one of the best ways to get to Washington, D.C. from wherever you are, particularly if you're on the eastern coast, is just get there by train. That's what I did. I caught the train there from Chicago, and then this is Union Station, which is a magnificent building.
It's beautiful.
And the great thing about getting there by train... See, I love that. Trump inauguration cigars... Trump does not smoke, so why have they got cigars for him? This is an American thing. They'll beat up anything. But it's such a great way to get there because as soon as you arrive, you're right in the centre of the city, which is one of the reasons why I travel in by train. And this is a part of the city that tourists tend not to go to. These are just the normal business streets there, but it's fascinating to see the history. And then you have all these massive government buildings. It's really easy to get around. They've got a great subway there. They have a series of buses that take you around. They have those double-decker buses, those tourist buses, and they've recently introduced trams as well. So it's a really
very historic looking. A lot of the buildings.
Well, it is
very clean as well.
It is very historic looking. And the thing about when you go to Washington, particularly when you go near the Capitol building there. It is just, you can smell.
Tell us what the Capitol building is for people who don't know.
This is where their seat of government. This is where the Congress and the Senate sits.
It's like their Parliament House.
It's their Parliament House, yeah. But it's a massive building, and as I said, you see all these people in power dressing going everywhere, lots of senators.
Is it open to the public? So could you go in and have a look?
You can go in at special times. There is a visitor centre quite close. It depends what's happening. I love this. They have all these protesters around there. You know, it's the land of the free.
Wrap up their animals in it.
But when you stand outside, there's always the press hanging around, camera crews and all that. Because
expecting a politician or a story.
Well, that's all right, and just stopping people. And there's always a story coming out, particularly when Congress is sitting. So it's really interesting to go there. It's a very approachable building as well. Naturally, they have security. I think you would have to have identification to get into it unless you were on a formal tour, and in which case you would be given some sort of...
I guess it's understandable. 9/11 was the
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, there's a lot of security around there. Yeah. Although I have to say, I mean, you see it's really a little bit oblique. Really, you know it's there, but it's not
oblivious.
In your face
they
at all.
Try
Yeah,
not to put it in your face.
Because this is a seat of democracy.
Yep.
One of the great things about going to Washington, D.C. is to go and see the museums there. Now, they've got what they call the Smithsonian. That's the Museum of Indian Americans. And it's just not the North Americans, it's the South Americans as well. You've got all these great artefacts. This is part of the Smithsonian. There are 17 Smithsonian museums in there, and this, in my mind, is the best museum of air and space. They are all free to get into.
So
and look at this. This is just extraordinary. You have these full-size planes just hanging from the ceiling.
The term Smithsonian?
The Smithsonian.
I noticed the name. What does that mean? What does that relate to?
The Smithsonian is an organisation that has been set up basically to look after these museums. Okay. And as I say, there's 17 of them. There's art galleries. Okay, there's all sorts of things. And so you've got this. This is the Wright brothers, for instance, and this is This is not the original, I don't think, but this is a life-size replica of what's there. You've got all these spaceships in there, real spaceships. For instance, there's a capsule, that's a Mercury capsule that came back to Earth. You've got... there is another bigger one outside of this building near the airport, Dulles Airport, and that is so much bigger because that's in hangars and you've got massive planes there. But it's just brilliant to go to all these museums, and they're all free. It's a very walkable city as well, is Washington. And then you've got to go to see the White House. Now, the White House, there's a Washington Monument, for instance, and these are all connected by
How does
parks.
it feel when you go to the White House? Is it
You know
a completely
what?
different
The
feel?
White House is not as big as you envisage it to be. It's not. I'm not saying it's a small house. It is a mansion.
It's not the big
But you would
structure.
expect it to be a lot bigger, but it's not. It's like a pretty big family home, really. I love it because they've got all these protesters and stuff outside, and there's a bit of security. I don't know what this bloke was doing, but he was sitting there playing AC/DC.
What was on his face?
That was
Suntan
just
lotion.
painted white. I think he was just
protesting about something.
Protesting about something. I have no idea what. You don't know what. A lot of them, because you have godfloggers outside there and all that. So
a good place to travel to, Washington.
Look, it's a really, really interesting place to travel to. I actually stayed, because Washington DC is small, I stayed in Maryland because Washington DC is bordered by two states, Virginia and Maryland, and I caught the subway to where I was staying. It was a 20-minute trip on a train, so it was really close. And I found it fascinating because Washington is, arguably the most important capital city in the world. And you go there, and it is so easy to get around, and you see everything.
But
if you've got the time, you see everything you want to see.
Isn't that all about USA? But we all have these thoughts on different things. I mean, I didn't like the Americans to start with, and then when I went to Hawaii, I thought they're not that bad after all.
Oh,
so we have
Americans
this built
are very,
up,
very polite
we have this
people.
perception about what we think America's like until we go
Yeah,
there.
but when you go there, and when you go to the Capitol building or when you go to the White House, I'm talking about the places of power. You realise that they are real. This is where the president lives. This is where Congress sits. This is where so much of what affects us, many of those decisions, the whole world, are made, both financial and military, etc. And so it is really extraordinary to go to a place. It's a bit like going to London and you go to Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, you go to Buckingham Palace, you think, this is all real, It's
beautiful.
I haven't read. I've read about this, but it exists.
Giving us
and that's
the
what's
wind-up.
fantastic about it.
Wondersea DC, go there for yourself.
Well
Wonderful
worth
flights
it.
all around Australia. Your website, please.
Steve Collins, travelcorrespondent.com.
Do you know where you're going to? Because I know you're leaving us.
You're heading to Sydney next.
Beautiful. Enjoy your holiday. And hopefully
Yes, we'll do.
see you in the new year, if not before.
And you enjoy your holiday when you go away.
Now, thank you to Steve Collins. We'll see more of him in the future, I guess, with The Couch. He's one of our regulars. Georgie Way, thank you very much for standing there waiting to perform. Georgie, tell me a little bit about your band before you perform.
We're the Georgie Away Band, and today we've got Jeremy Thompson on guitar, which has been wonderful playing with him. And also we usually play with Zach Grafton and also Daniel Sussinger.
Are you all from WA?
I'm from all over the place, but I grew up mainly in Adelaide, South Australia. I went through the Elder Conservatorium in Adelaide, and then I've been in Sydney and Melbourne since then, and now I'm very proud to be calling Perth my home.
Fantastic. Tell me about your new album called Little Bird.
We've released an album called Little Bird, and it's an album full of original music, and it's mainly my own music, and there's a couple of covers in there, a couple of Beatles covers. But the inspiration for those tracks have really come through just over the years of experience and writing, and I really enjoy Brazilian jazz music, so I've just been making sure that I'm sneaking in some bossa novas and sambas into my original music.
Fantastic. I know people would love your album, love your music. Where can we catch you performing?
The best place to follow us is on Facebook. just under Georgie Away, Georgie AUE, that is. It's a bit of an odd last name, but also on my website, which is www.georgieaway.com.au.
Thank you. That's where everyone can get more information about you. Tell me about the song you're performing for us here at the end of the show, 17.
It's really a celebration of life. It was dedicated to a friend of mine who unfortunately passed away when he was 17, and it's meant to be a joyful song experience.
Look forward to hearing the song. Thank you for being on the show today. Best of luck in the future with your music.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for having us on the show. We really appreciate it.
You're very, very welcome. Thank you very much. That is it for us today. We're right out of time. Thank you for being part of the show. Thanks to all our crew, our presenters, everybody that's been here. Thanks to Rachel for coming back. We're going to leave you with 17. Here she is, Georgie Away.
The Couch is proudly supported by Palace Cinemas, Elite Audiovisual Productions, Crown and Andrews Board Games, fun for the whole family, and Scoot Airlines. Escape the ordinary, fly Scoot.